at current gold prices, it's over 16 billion Canadian dollars worth of metal just at
Right.
the Taurus deposits, let alone in the other targets. Everyone these days wants big projects. Everyone's looking for 3, 4, 5 million ounce deposits, which is really what we're building here on the northern side, on the bulk tonnage side, the side of our property. We have a unique set of assets in the infrastructure that it's extremely rare to see in gold exploration companies, and allows us to with low capex pursue a path to production.
Hello, everyone, and thank you for tuning in to this live Cassiar event. Today, I'm joined by Marco Roque, President and CEO, to discuss last week's press release regarding the company's Intersect and new quartz veining with visible gold, and the initiation of evaluating the mill refurbishment, tailings, monetization, and high-grade strategy. As this is a live event, we encourage you to submit questions in the chat box, which can be found in the bottom right corner of your screen. As always, this event is being recorded and will be available for replay shortly after we conclude. Marco, congratulations on completing the 2025 drill program. Can you walk us through what these final results mean for Cassiar Gold and what most excites you about what the team discovered at Newcoast?
Hi, Kyle. Thanks for having me. It's a pleasure to be here. Thank you so much. It's really another batch of great results by the team. So we've released 11 drill holes, the balance of drill holes from last year's program. Once again, we intercepted gold in every single drill hole, which is great. We intercepted broad zones of mineralization, bulk style. With some of the infill, we established good continuity. With very significant step outs, we can continue to see broad intercepts of mineralization, long widths, several intercepts with very high gram meters, several intercepts of 60, 80, up to 167 meters of bulk tonnage style mineralization. And we also intercepted several high grade, gold quartz veins as well that continue to push the envelopes of known mineralization at Newcoast, the Newcoast target, where by the way, we only had previously 9 drill holes. Now we have 20 as an operator, and we continue to see and even more the potential for another bulk style deposit similar to the Taurus deposit, but with a very high footprint of mineralization. Given what we see at surface, but also being confirmed what we see in the drill core from the drill holes underground as well.
So the visible gold intercept in hole 25 NC17 returned an exceptional 176.5 grams per ton over 0.3 meters. Can you explain the significance of discovering this new quartz vein structure and what it tells you about the exploration potential in previously untested areas?
Yeah, it's we have a really sparsely drilled project. We actually see high grade veins like this throughout the project, not just on the bulk tonnage areas, but also on the more discrete high grade vein areas where we see underground mining in the past with grades between 10 and 20 grams per ton. This is another of one of those style of veins that we intercepted. There's a broader intercept within that hole running around 15.7 meters at 3.8 grams per ton, which is really great to see. That provides the potential for that style of high grade underground mining. It also provides the potential to coalescing around those veins of potential to continue to expand bulk style mineralization. But as a reminder, the entirety of our resource is just a couple of kilometers north of this Newcoast targets. The entirety of the resource is there. But we see, and we found gold on over 15-kilometer trends. So we have a very sparsely drilled district. Most of it has actually seen no work. So we continue to uncover the mineralized gold system in this district and in this project. And we're looking forward to continue to do so as well in the future. So great results and very happy so far.
Yeah, like you said, Newcoast sits about 2 kilometers from the Taurus deposit. How do you see Newcoast fitting into the broader picture of the Cassiar Gold District? And what similarities, and maybe even more importantly, what differences are you seeing between Newcoast and Taurus?
Well, the similarities are quite big. The Newcoast the Newcoast target compared to the Taurus deposit, we see there is similar style of veining, alteration, mineralization. We see mineralization outcrop. If you go and see the mapping and sampling survey that we've conducted about a year and so ago, and we released about around a year ago the results for that, you see large footprints where you have mineralization with grades similar to the Taurus deposit outcropping at surface in the Newcoast corridor, but in several outlying areas around the Taurus deposit. The Taurus deposit, as a reminder, is 2.3 million ounces at over a gram per ton combined resource. It's only constrained by drilling. It starts at surface, and it's within a 15-kilometer trend that has 5 past producing mines. We don't know how big the Taurus deposit is going to get, but we see a lot of similarities again between Newcoast and Taurus, because Newcoast is just 2 kilometers south of Taurus along that trend. So broad intercepts of mineralization. Some of those quartz high-grade veins, those high-grade corridors that we also seen at Taurus. We've actually intercepted some high-grade corridors in the drilling that we've conducted last year at Taurus, where we did some step outs. We released that last month. So it looks like a Taurus, but I guess the big difference there is at Taurus we have around over 60,000 meters of drilling there that allows us to have a 2.3 million ounce deposit already defined, of which we've already expanded that. At Newcoast, it's kind of still early days. It's still very, very sparsely tested, but the footprint is quite substantial. The footprint where we see gold outcropping is substantially larger than the footprint we see at Taurus. So big difference is still sparsely drilled, still a lot of potential, and the similarity is the same. So we believe that the Newcoast, could give us another engine of growth for this bulk style mineralization that we have at the Cassiar Gold Project.
Definitely. So metallurgical work's underway at Taurus, and we actually have multiple parallel initiatives now in motion. How should investors think about the company's near-term milestones and catalysts as we're at the beginning of 2026?
Yeah, so in terms of the catalysts that we have, you mentioned the met work. So we're looking to release met studies on Taurus at the end of this quarter, end of Q1. That will feed into another very substantial catalyst as well, which is a preliminary economic assessment that we're looking to have out at the end of Q2. I think these are two major milestones as we get into kind of a feasibility stage of the company. I mean, we're still an explorer. We've touched less than 0.3% of our land package with any type of work. So it's severely underexplored, but it's already a sizable resource that we have. At current gold prices, it's over 16 billion Canadian dollars worth of metal just at the Taurus deposits, let alone in the other targets. So we believe we'll continue to grow mineralization there, expand mineralization there. But these two catalysts are quite critical. They will help, I think, investors understand the metrics, the economics on the project as we kind of set the stage for the company as we're trying to advance the project eventually to a production scenario, and which will take many years. But we have two different areas of the property with kind of different development optionalities as well. So that will feed into that. And of course, we'll be opening camp in May as well, and we'll continue to expand and explore. And that we're also kind of expanding the scope of our strategy as well, and that's something we can also talk about because that's something we also mentioned in a press release as well.
Yeah, let's get into it. And like you say, you're an exploration company. So 2025 program, about 7,300 meters over 20 holes. As you integrate these results into your 2026 planning, what are the priority targets now, and how will this year's discovery shape next season's exploration strategy?
Yeah, it's a great question. So, I mean, it keeps on opening more areas or more avenues for growth. So we already had some, like we knew that Taurus remains open. We've modeled, we targeted with some of the drill results we released last month, some higher grade corridors. Um, you know, uh, that are basically internal to the Taurus deposit, but we tested step outs of that. We intercepted some higher grade intercepts than the gram to a gram and a half that we typically see at Taurus. At Newcoast, we can continue to expand the mineralized footprint, demonstrated continuity. So basically, that gives us very high confidence that we can keep expanding the bulk style mineralization, which has a tonnage that the big producers find attractive because everyone these days want big projects. Everyone's looking for 3, 4, 5 million ounce deposits, which is really what we're building here on the northern side, on the bulk tonnage side, the side of our property. So we'll definitely continue to expand on those. We can continue to expand via step outs. We can do more exploration drilling. We have, all these systems are only constrained by drilling. We have several outlying targets. So, there's a lot of avenues for growth, and we will be tackling and addressing those in this drill campaign. But also, given where the gold price is, the last I checked was over $5,200 per ounce, which is really great. We're also looking at the high-grade underground veins that we have in the southern part of our property, where we have 4 of our 5 past-producing mines, where we also have mine permits. We have a fully owned permit mill infrastructure that could get us into a much shorter path to production. So we're also going to be looking to extend those vein systems. To give you a sense, historically these veins produce over 300,000 ounces. The grades are between 10 and 20 grams per ton. We've basically tested extensions of those past producing vein systems, which are near, accessible or extremely near to the underground workings, of which we have 25 kilometers connecting to surface and to the portals. These are very high grades. So we're looking to work there to accelerate our path to cash flow, because we already have most of the infrastructure in place in the south. So we're assessing very seriously how to monetize that and other activities as well. But for sure, the Cassiar cell is going to be a very substantial component of our focus this year, because the grades are just incredible, and the development optionality is extremely attractive, especially at current gold prices.
Yeah, well, I had a question which you pretty much addressed, but you mentioned the infrastructure. Why don't you go ahead and elaborate on these advantages, particularly around the existing infrastructure and the past producing high grade mines at Cassiar South?
Yeah, so I mean, most projects these days, most exploration projects that you see similarities in terms of size. For example, with the Taurus deposit, they're typically remote, and many of them not accessible. So we have paved road access, we have grid power, we have water, we have a fully owned permitted mill, we have mine permits. We have 17 historical portals. We have 25 kilometers of underground workings. We have tailings facilities, not only with capacity but with substantial amounts of gold inside as well. So we have a unique set of assets in the infrastructure that it's extremely rare to see in gold exploration companies, and allows us to with low capex pursue a path to production. So it's a massive competitive advantage, we really want to leverage on those. We'll be looking to assess. We have for example, on the tailings, which is an easy one. We've tested. We know the grades. The grades on the tailings are running around a gram, 2 grams, 2.5 grams per ton. So that's a very decent grade for material that is already at surface and ground. So that's something that we'll be testing to try to sell or reprocess in some way. So that's a way to not only monetize value, what we have, where we see thousands, if not tens of thousands of ounces on those tailings. So that to provide a way for cash flow. So we're going to be testing that. We're also assessing the underground infrastructure, how to access that, the mill, reassess the mill, what it would take to get that mill up, either to process the tailings somehow and remove some of that material that is there at surface, as a way to improve the environment around our operations as well, but also get cash flow. And also seeing, like you've seen, like other projects out there, looking at direct ship ore, or trying to fire up their mills. So that's something that we'll be doing and assessing very seriously, and looking through partners and bringing that skill set in house to basically turn that concept and idea into a reality over the next few months as well.
I'm hearing a lot of assessing and assessment. So why don't you go ahead and talk about the timeline for these studies, and how could this shift Cassiar Gold's development trajectory?
Yeah, it's a great question. So, I mean, you can't put the cart ahead of the horse, as they say. So, you got to make sure, you got to look into, all the regulations, all the permitting. You also have to, look into, engineering, technical studies, mining plans. So there's quite a bit of work that needs to be done. And right now we're discussing with several partners and contractors what's the best way to execute on all of those. We have we're not going to be doing something that puts us at risk, or try to cut corners. So we're going to be systematically looking at each of these opportunities, find the best way that we, in a responsible way, we can take advantage and either monetize this or take advantage to get us, within reason, as fast as possible, to some sort of cash flow, and or at the very least NPV. So we will be announcing these steps and the work that we want to do throughout the year as we select partners and as we make strides in each of the milestones, and provide a little bit more specifics as we progress through this path as well.
If I have my numbers right here, and it's worth reminding people, the historical underground mines at Cassiar South produced approximately 315,000 ounces at grades between 10 to 20 grams per ton. How significant is this optionality for the company, and what work needs to be done to advance understanding these high-grade vein systems?
Yeah, so I've touched a little bit on this. The high-grade veins are extremely exciting. The grade speaks for itself. 10 to 20 grams per ton is fantastic. It's very rare to see this, high-grade mineralization in substantial amounts, anywhere in the world. So, people these days are mining typically a gram per ton down to half a gram per ton, and heading lower as you go into this bull gold cycle as well. And as the prices, gold prices are skyrocketing, and finally so, which is great to see. But just to give you a sense, the size of our mill, which is also the tonnage permit within our mine permit at Cassiar South. We have 2 mine permits. One in the Cassiar South high-grade veins is 300 tons per day. If you assume the higher range of the grade, which actually we've seen higher grades on production and substantially higher grades on the intercepts, where we extended these past producing veins of 20 grams per ton. But assuming 20 grams per ton with a mill that we have, putting 20 grams per ton in a mill, that mill could be producing around 60,000 ounces per year.
Wow.
If you're assuming 20 grams per ton, you could be looking at a production profile of 30,000 ounces per year. It's not a massive amount, but it's not it's not nothing. That's at current gold prices or last week's gold prices, that's 200 to $400 million Canadian of potential revenue. So that's the opportunity. And what's exciting is we have quite a bit of our 25 kilometers of underground workings connect the surface and get very close or to the high grade, the end vein sections of the high grade veins. Over previous years as an operator, we've drilled and intercepted quite a few of those veins. I'll encourage everyone to go and look at the widths and the grades that we intercepted there. But I remember a few, like 4.8 meters at 35 grams per ton, 2.2 meters at 32 grams per ton. So, nice widths and nice grades. All the vein systems we extended remain open. Just one of the past producing mines, the main mine, for example, produced historically 150,000 ounces at 17 grams per ton. So these vein systems can be quite juicy, can have quite a bit of material. All of them remain open. All of them have been extended. And, not only the ones that have been already found provide quite the runway to feed that mill, but also have a lot of potential for blind discovery of parallel and stacked vein systems, because we have a 9-kilometer strike length in our project that's very prospective for these high grade veins, and the periodicity in this part of our property suggests that every 400 to 600 meters there's a potential for parallel vein systems. So that could be dozens of these veins. There's a lot of potential here, and again provides us a very low capex optionality to get into production much sooner than we can or see as realistic for the bulk tonnage and the north, that it will include Taurus or potentially Newcoast and the outlying targets.
Exciting times. Marco, I am aware you're busy networking in Vancouver. I think we covered everything: regional exploration, mill refurbishment, evaluation, tailings, monetization. I'll leave you with one more question, and please take this as your closing remarks, but go ahead and summarize what's your vision for Cassiar Gold over the next 12 to 24 months.
Yeah, so that's a great question. I think, first of all, I really want to, remind people, how undervalued we still are. Our stock is maybe over 100, 150% last year, but coming from a very low level. If you look at Cassiar Gold and just looking at the deposits and compared to some of our peers, we're extremely undervalued. And some of our peers with similar size deposits on an enterprise value per ounce on the ground are trading 3, 4, 5, 6 times higher than us. So we have quite a bit of upside just to catch up with some of our peers. In addition to that, we have, mine permits, infrastructure, high grade optionality. So it's something that makes us quite unique and should be putting us at a premium. But more importantly, as after 5 years of exploration, year after year, program after program, target after target, basically pretty much hitting gold in every single target that we drilled. We've demonstrated the exploration potential, the bulk tonnage potential for the north part of the property, as well as the high grade potential. And basically the next 12 to 24 months, we want to move from an exploration company to an exploration developer. So that's really the vision. So we're retooling the company, refocusing our strategy. Expanding the scope of what we have to really take advantage of the gold prices. And I think, Cassiar Gold provides a unique opportunity, extremely undervalued, with high leverage to the gold price, that, I think investors should take notes. and should really take advantages. They take advantages of this opportunity as we move into kind of the new stage of developing in the company as well.
Exciting times ahead. We look forward to the future updates, Marco. I'll let you get back to everything you're doing, but thank you for taking time out of your day, and thank you everyone for tuning in.